ladies and gentlemen. Alrighty. I think I am live on both platforms, Facebook and Instagram. So if I will be switching in between, please forgive me. Let's start. This is going to be tough video. Um, my name is Isabella. I am an owner and founder of Authentic Wellbeing Company, former Beautiful, and I help women to connect to their bodies in a way that they truly feel rediscovered, connected, and self-trusting themselves. So that way they can make decisions to lead and live their life as they want. I really help women to see that all these external rules, shoulds, and societal expectations are those that are created by outside world, and we got to live from the internal world with our intuition. This is really my big thing, to live with your internal world, to be aligned with your world. So as you can see from this intro, very general intro, um, I work in my world since few years on nurturing and cultivating the practices where I will be following what my body is really craving, what my body is really telling me to do, what my body is really wanting to do or needing. And I truly want to totally move from the external world and drop into my body, so that way I am living fully, authentically from the space here in my heart. So this video is going to be really telling you and sharing with you my personal decisions around boundaries, nourishment, self-care, and eventually making tough decisions. um, it's not really something dramatic, so don't freak out. However, it is somehow really a big leap for me. So the decision finally is that I am going to disconnect from a lot of platforms, including Instagram fully, 100%, and Facebook 80%, or as well as newsletters, a lot of things, YouTube channel, a lot of things are going to be literally silent and numb and not functioning right now. You won't be receiving things from me really right now. um, it is truly not about anybody out there. It's truly about finally getting to the point where I could see that doing multiple things and doing all of those things was actually, instead of making me expansive, making me expanding, making me passionate and joyful, it kept me actually overwhelmed and stuck. And overwhelmed and stuck, not in a way that I didn't want to serve people. That is totally out of equation. It was mostly about my creativity and what I wanted to bring to the world. The more I'm working on my mental, emotional, and spiritual health, I have really amazing support team of therapists, of emotional worker, naturopath. I have the most supportive, probably an angel husband that was put in my path, in my life, for me as well to work on myself. And I understand also that it's also for him. We are both for each other in a very like, sometimes it blows my mind what emotional, spiritual, mental healing we both are going through because we are together. And then, of course, I have a divine support team of my spirits and masters and angels, and I truly believe I do have. And so I know I have amazing team. I have never probably had such a team on my in my life, and because of that, I'm doing really incredible amount of work, so much that sometimes I truly, instead of tapping into myself, instead of being with myself, I started actually numbing, resisting, avoiding, and bringing back the old patterns of my behaviors, the old patterns of my behavior. So for you, just to give you very quick overview who I was. So I was the person, I'm not talking about my jobs. I'm talking about who I was as a woman, as a human being. I was really totally numbing, totally zombie, totally disconnected person. I was very I was totally zombie. I had no clue what's going on in my body. I had no clue how to care of my body. I was not spiritual. I totally didn't know what's going on in my head. Definitely, I was driven primarily by my brain and head, and I was driven by external expectations and validations. And all those things were so overwhelming, but I didn't know that. And the moment I started working on myself, and especially last year, a lot of shit came out. A lot of things came out. Trauma, PTSD. I got diagnosed with PTSD, depression, eating disorders, bipolar, and it's been a rough road and it's been a tough process. And And I was trying to work on myself while keeping everything steady, stable. Many of you probably never even realized that something is going on. I was sharing a lot of things. I was really, every single post you read on my social media was coming from my heart, was truly coming from my heart. None of them were scheduled. None of them were like made up. None of them required to copy paste something from other posts. Everything was coming back, coming from me. But at some point, I knew that a lot of things I'm giving out. And by the time I gave everything out, I sent messages, I sent newsletters, I attend to my clients, made all the calls, videos, everything. I was empty myself. I didn't have space for creativity, for joy, for expansion, for even processing what I went through during my therapy, for example. So the decision, that is the toughest decision proposed, one of the toughest decisions, not the toughest. They were way toughest decisions of in my life, but that is one of the tough decisions. Why? Because it's triggering me as hell. It's triggering me as hell. Like the first question was, what am I going to do once I don't have social media to scroll down? I could spend 3 to 4 hours a day scrolling social media because I was afraid to post, because I was afraid to speak up, because I was afraid to show up myself fully and authentically and vulnerably, because I was afraid to tap into myself, because I was afraid to connect to my emotions, because I was afraid to connect to my traumas, conditioning, things that I needed to bring up to the surface in order to heal. And those things were boiling and boiling inside of me, bottled up without being released and without being given a space to process. So eventually, I was just not doing well. I started feeling very resistant, very anxious, very depressed, very often depressed, and I started having some kind of heartaches, more headaches. My food choices were getting poorer and poorer, and my activity level was getting lower and lower. My energy level was also lower and lower. Those were all the symptoms and signs that I really needed to start looking what's going on. The moment I start having lower energy, resistance to do what I love to do, and heartaches, was big realization. I need to do something about this. I didn't know what to do about this. It was around 3 weeks ago. And if you don't know me much, at 38, I had a heart attack. So as soon as I start feeling my heartaches, that was a signal to me. I need to pass. I need to do something about this. I didn't know what yet around 3 weeks ago. So after talking with my therapist, with my husband, with myself, with my guides, being a little more connected for the last 2, 3 weeks, I made a decision to disconnect from social media, from Instagram fully, from Facebook, as I mentioned. So all that decision is truly about creating boundaries with myself and with the things that I'm doing, bringing more nourishment to my physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual body, taking care of myself, because this is what I preach and teach, and I cannot be showing up for you fully authentically speaking about self-care while I am slacking on self-care, while I am feeling bad, while I am having a physical symptoms of something going on. So that is just not my integrity. Like, I cannot show up and tell you, hey, you should be doing this, or hey, I think and or believe, and this is my guidance, this is my suggestion, while I am not listening to myself. And all those suggestions are coming out from me to you, but they are not coming back to me and not reciprocated from my side. So that's just not me, and that's not my integrity. And if some of you know me and follow me for a longer time, I truly, integrity is the highest level for me, on every level: physical, emotional, mental, work wise, business wise, personal relationships, integrity. So because of that, I decided to make that tough decision to disconnect. How is that going to look like? It will be basically, I won't be for until end of June on any Instagram post. I'm going to basically remove Instagram from my phone, and I'm not going to be active on Facebook. However, I'm going to leave this today. I'm going to be still yet on those platforms, and I'm going to post informations about where to reach me, because I have plenty of friends. I have some transactions going on social media. Like, I purchased a couple of stuff. I have coaches. I have collaborations going on too, doing a couple of things with other girls. I want to leave you with some information how to reach out to me. That will be email. And I am still leaving the Facebook Messenger. So that way, because Facebook Messenger is the primary source to be connected to my family right now, which is in Europe. So I want to keep that open. So if you are interested in anything, or even if you want to send me the heart and support on my healing journey, and tapping back to myself and reconnecting and rediscovering things, processing things, I will receive them. And email address is also my business email address that I am reading, no one else is reading. If you have also something to share with me, connect with me, maybe some anything, that email address is open, because I have basically more control over it, right? I can check out whenever I want. So please also be understanding that I won't be responding to you right this minute, but I will respond for sure. At least within 24 hours, I will make sure that you get the response if it's needed. So I wanted to close up, this live video, and just remind you that you do you. Remind you that your body, your gut feelings, your intuition, your heart are the only sources of the knowledge and wisdom you need to live fully, authentically, really vulnerably, compassionately, and lovingly. I am not even going to apologize for saying that they are the only sources, because that's true. Mind, logic, reality, everything follows after. The moment you know who you are, the moment you know what 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 ground you want to operate from, the moment you create your own foundation, not based on the social expectations, the stories we were told, not based on the, like those rules. I always say there is that rule book written by who knows who, and then we follow that rule book like as zombies. This is not your book. Write your own book. If the moment you start creating that foundation, start writing your own book, you will see how many beautiful things are coming out from you. You don't need anything from external world. You don't. You will be guided, you will be supported, you will be passionate, you will be creative, you will be driven, you will find motivation, you will know who you are, and you will know what to do once you tap into your own system, into your own body, into your own body's signs, cues, language, and wisdom. So I wanted to leave you with that because this is huge for me, and this what I am going and to do more and practicing, and that's why the decision I made. So I leave you with this knowledge. I leave you with this video. I hope it was inspiring to some degree. I hope you can take something out of it. As I said, I'm not disappearing. I will be back. I will be back stronger on the other side of fear, on the other side of self-sabotage, on the other side of resistance, on the other side of the tough processes and tough healing. I will come back, and I want to come back because I've got a lot of things to bring into this world, and I already know that. I just need space to prepare myself for it. So I love you. I wanted to say thank you for witnessing me. Thank you for being here. I want to see the comments and completely understand. I used to be a queen of dissociation. Thank you, Monica. I really appreciate you being here. Thank you, Jacqueline, for being here. Thank you, Lynn. Um, thank you so much. Thank you for all of you who are here listening. I feel so lighter. So I will still be active this today on both the social media. If you want to say something, send something, ask me something, please do so. And even if you how to be in touch with me, if you are confused or you need to extra information, please let me know. And then on tomorrow I am gone, and I am anxious, I am curious, I am excited. I think I'm in love with that decision. I love you. I love you all. And I am here for you energetically too. Love. Ending everything I was into. Platform.